Time now for the quote of the week. And it's a fitting quote this week, given it's the 80th anniversary of the publishing of George Orwell's classic Animal Farm, which mirrors the rise of totalitarian governments under communism, showing how revolutionary ideas can be corrupted into oppression. In the preface to Animal Farm, Orwell writes, in quotes, "If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear." In other words, free speech as a core fundamental freedom and one of the pillars of progress. Appropriate context, by the way, for the quote this week, given the recent controversy surrounding censorship at the Toronto Film Festival or the censorship of Christian singer Sean Foyt, which goes against the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Section 2, subsection B states, everyone has the following fundamental freedoms: freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression, including freedom of the press and other media communications. Which the evidence makes clear, unfortunately, that many Canadians disagree with that. Well, at least it comes with opinions they disagree with. And let me give you a little background for this quote. The order by the BC College of Nurses and Midwives ordered that registered nurse Amy Ham, she had a 13-year unblemished record. They ordered her to pay an astounding $93,639.80 and have her nursing license suspended for 1 month. She actually lost her job after the ruling for her online statements, some of which she identified herself as a nurse, but she never suggested she was speaking for anyone but herself. She supported and defended the right of women to access female-only spaces, washrooms, crisis centers, sporting events, and prisons. She first got on the BC College of Nurses and Midwives radar in 2020 for putting up a billboard, along with her friend, that simply said, "I heart J.K. Rowling," who has argued that while transgender people deserve respect and safety, biological sex is real and important. And she opposes policies that, in her view, erase sex-based rights and protections for women and girls. I think it's a pretty good summation of the online views expressed by Nurse Ham. She publicly defended the right of women to access female-only spaces like washrooms, as I said, and crisis centers. She made statements like, "There is no ability for a person to become a woman if one is not born a female," and, in quotes, "I don't think it's possible for women to defend their legal rights or even the definition of womanhood if anyone can say they are a woman." I want to reiterate that there were no patient complaints in this affair. No transgender identified people came forward to provide evidence of harm. And the BC College also acknowledged that her statements were, in quotes, motivated by her genuine belief that recognition of the rights of transgender women harms the sex-based rights of cisgender women and children. But of course, her views are not acceptable. Hence the fine and termination, as I said, by the Vancouver Coastal Health after the decision was made, which brings me to the quote of the week by Amy Ham. "The college has chosen to punish me for statements that are not hateful, but truthful. I'm appealing to the BC Supreme Court because biological reality matters, and so does freedom of expression," end of quote. Let me add what the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom said regarding the case, in quotes. "The punishment of Amy Ham for expressing her opinions is a dark day for freedom of expression, freedom of thought, and freedom of conscience in British Columbia." As I continually repeat, and I'm proud I do, because we are under continuing attacks on free speech. At some point, we are all going to have to stand up to free speech, for free speech, in favor of free speech, or we're going to lose our freedom. Thanks to the principal tool, think about this, censorship is the principal tool used by totalitarian governments to control the population.